Hi, I'm Jack Infinity 203, and I'm here to give you a spoiler review about Loki Episode 3, Lamentis. It follows Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and he just escaped with the variant known as Sylvie, and they get into a very dangerous situation. And so, I will say, this is a great episode once again. They delivered with a solid third episode that maybe it's not as exciting as this recent one, but it's definitely a solid one and it's entertaining, and we get more Loki. So yeah, there's that. And let's start off with the positives. The acting, it's great. Tom Hiddleston is really good as Loki, as always. In this episode, this time he's not working alongside Owen Wilson this episode, but he's working with the variant of him, Sylvie. And so they have a lot of great scenes with each other, kind of banter back and forth, like, oh, because both of them are now stuck in this really dangerous situation on a planet on the verge of destruction, and they got to get out of there. Another thing I think is really good for this episode is the cinematography. This has probably some of Loki's best cinematography work on the show so far, because there are lots of shots, whether it's just them walking from place to place to place, or whether it's the ending where you see them rushing to get to this arc, and it looks great. It looks very cool for a planet like Lamentis, which is a lot of purple, but it actually looks pretty good. It doesn't feel too oversaturated, and the cinematography work for the episodes, besides the color scheme of it, it looks great. It really kind of gives you some great cinematography work for the MCU, which I do think these Disney Plus shows have really nailed with this, WandaVision and Falcon the Winter Soldier. And so Loki once again shines with cinematography when it comes to this episode. Man, I cannot wait to see what more cinematography shots they have, because they've already been doing such a good job in that area. And I think I give credit to whoever's doing the cinematography, because they're doing such a great job. And so next thing I loved was the humor moments, because there is a moment midway through the episode, you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it, of course, and it is Loki getting drunk. Eventually, they were on this train to get to the Ark, to get to safety, and Sylvie falls asleep, and Loki, when she wakes up, Loki is singing, but then it turns out he was drunk, and that's because that's in his nature, and he's mischievous, and so it's funny. It's pretty cool, too, seeing him do all those things, and it leads for an exciting action sequence where you see Loki and them kind of fighting all these guards, because they're like, oh, like from earlier, because they broke into the Ark, it was like, what are you doing here? You don't have a ticket. So you see them, Loki and Sylvie were fighting these guards, and it was really cool. And then it goes in a direction where this time they got off the train. They got kicked off, and whoo, man, that kind of amps up the tension, because this time how they got to get all the way to that Ark if they really want to get off the planet alive. And so luckily they get into town, and then as they walk to town, they gave us a very big detail about the TVA, saying Sylvie tells Loki, every single one of those people who are working for the TVA, they're variants, which could continue the theory that Mobius is a variant himself, and that maybe they don't know it. So it really kind of continues with the idea that the TVA might actually be the villains of the show, which I will not be surprised if they go in that direction. And that's exciting, because then it kind of leaves you wondering, what will that mean for the next 3 episodes? And does this mean kind of Loki and them, how are they going to like get back at the TVA? And so it's really going to be interesting to see, and even how Mobius and them are going to find out when they realize they're all variants, all of them. And so, yeah, and it's going to be really interesting to see how that happens and how they're going to handle it. And then the cliffhanger. Whew. Yeah, I watched this episode, and the cliffhanger happened. I was like, whoa, you're going to leave me off like that? And so it really feels like this is not a direction I saw them going with this. So this is going to be really exciting to see how they go from here, because they got to the city. They're trying to rush to the Ark. The planet or like moon above them just blew up, and you see them. It's like all these asteroid stuff started hitting just destroying the town. You see Loki and Sylvie trying to get to that Ark, but they have to get through people, fight off these guards, trying to prevent them from doing so. And then the ark is destroyed, and then you see them like in shock, knowing they're stranded there. How are they going to get out of this one? And then the credits roll. And so it's really exciting, and it's so shocking. One of the things, I love the cliffhangers. It really kind of leaves you like, man, you want episode 4. I can't wait for episode 4, and I hope you all are excited for episode 4. And yeah, a solid episode. Not as good as episode 2, maybe, but I am going to give this episode a solid score. I'm going to give Loki episode 3 Lamentis an A-. Definitely watch this episode if you've been enjoying the show so far like I am. I'm really excited to see what happens next. I think this is entertaining, and I thought this is another solid episode of the show. I'm so excited to see what happens next, and I hope you are enjoying the show too. Speaking of that, go ahead. I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode. So comment down below, give this video a like, and if you want to see more from me, consider clicking that subscribe button. And as always, I appreciate it, and I'd love for you guys to stick around to see a lot more from me.